This is Mary Omni from the House of King David. This is a Republic Notice, December the 22nd, 2014. The New York cops is blaming de Blasio, Mayor de Blasio. Now, Mayor de Blasio has children of color, and he has a black wife. And they're blaming him for the racial tension. They are saying he incited some kind of racial tension because of how he spoke out on the grand jury ill decision regarding Eric Gardner, and how he has not been so blind to incorporate doctrines because he has a constitutional wife and constitutional children born from this constitutional wife. So he didn't act like most incorporate doctrine male acts. He is of Italian descent, I believe, and he married a black woman, and he has children with her. And they expect him to turn his back on the fact that he identifies with the Constitution. See, they want to turn this into a racial thing, and they want to say it's a racial war. But in truth, it is incorporate doctrines trampling the Constitution, and the Constitution beginning to assert its supremacy and authority, and saying that this trampling cannot continue without some kind of repercussions. Okay? This is not a racial war. Don't let it get into race, because as de Blasio proves, we have Italians of the covenant of the Constitution with us. We have Hispanics, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans of the constitutional covenant. We have Irish. We have Taj Mahal Indian. We have Africans. And we have other Israelites who have children with black women. So we have our own Holy Covenant type of United Nations that has constitutional blood within the Constitution. Okay? So don't let them tell you that this is about race. It is not about race. They're making it about race because they feel as though since the Constitution, citizens of supremacy are black, then they can just use that as an excuse to trample the Constitution. Since the history of this country is the denigration of black people. But however, the God of Israel put them in a constitution and cut off the sacrifice and oblation in 1868 when he made them legal non-consenters. Legal non-consenters, and he cut off you being able to exploit them by supreme contract. So all they can do is trample. Now this is a constitutional lesson, because I want you to understand that we have Gentiles in the Constitution, and Mayor de Blasio is one of them Gentiles, holy Gentiles that's in the Constitution, that serve the women and children of the Constitution, black women and children. And we have other male Gentiles that serve the Constitution, and black women and children. So I want you to look at these cops. Now, they don't want him at the funeral. They don't want de Blasio at the funeral. They blaming him for racial tension. See, everything is racial tension if they can't have full abandonment of just shooting constitutional citizens down. When they can't have full abandonment of just shooting constitutional citizens down, trampling the Constitution, shooting holes in the Constitution, then a lot of people accuse blacks of, oh, don't fall into the racial thing of defending yourself. Don't fall into the racial thing of defending the Constitution against domestic and foreign enemies, because then you're falling into the racial thing. Just let the corporate doctrine trampling continue, and just let us shoot you, in other words, and don't say nothing. Otherwise, you'll be stirring up racial tensions. This is the most insidious form of hubris, alien, lizard, demon, mind control and thinking I've ever witnessed. But this has to be alien, because this is not of a earth, because this doesn't make any common sense, and it's unacceptable to anybody with any fair level of intelligence that you would tell somebody, don't create racial tension, just let us trample you and shoot you, and don't stand up for your constitutional rights or the Constitution against domestic. I mean, a blue uniform and a gun does not give you the license to come to shoot the Constitution and the murder of constitutional assets. I don't know who told you have a license, but the gun rights, Second Amendment, has been non-consented since 1866. So it must be coming from an alien lizard demon regime that's giving you all this so-called authority, because the Constitution does not recognize your authority just because you have a blue uniform and a gun on the side. It can be purple or pink. The Constitution does not recognize you, and the Constitution is not governed by you. So all you doing is trampling and, okay, shoot out, corral. That's whatever you got going on. That's called, you know, whatever. You call it law, it's transgression of law. And it's treason on this soil, and you're foreigners. There will be a link of de Blasio and his wife, him defending his wife, and I want this to be seen by black women and black men, so we understand that we do have brothers of different colors and different mothers that is of and with us in this constitutional holy covenant. This is Mary Omni from the House of King David. Shalom.